Listen, so their policy is you can't record in here.
You're NYPD now? You're NYPD now?
Always been. Listen,
no.
You have to leave because you're not allowed to record in here.
You want to read their policies?
Their policies that you cannot record in here.
The first line.
Their staff is asking us for a review, and I don't remember you. I
remember you.
Oh, that's nice. I hope you like me. Time to go. All right?
Why would I need to leave? I have a right to be here, and I'm conducting business.
No, you're not conducting business. And the thing is that you have to go through.
Read the policy right there. I'm handing it to you.
Told me.
Who is he?
The security guard, the head security guard said that you need to leave, and they have a right to kick you out.
Photography and photocopying policy, right? I'm going to read it to you because if you violate my rights, you can't say that you didn't know.
That's our job.
It's no negotiation. No.
So you could just ask anybody to leave a public building just because.
Yes.
They want you to.
They said they've gotten complaints from every staff member on every single floor that you're recording them and you're being a nuisance, and you're not allowed to do that inside the library.
How am I being a nuisance?
You have to leave.
How am I being a nuisance?
You are recording them and you are not allowed to do that inside
So photography is a nuisance?
Sir?
Can I speak to your supervisor, please?
They can't record in here, right? You willing to? Nope. All right.
Read this. Handheld cameras are permitted.
Listen.
First line. Handheld cameras are permitted. This is their rules.
You have to.
Why?
Why? Because you are not allowed.
What crime am I committing?
You're not part of any media. You did not have prior permission to record in here. You now have to leave.
I do have permission.
Step out civilly.
I want to speak to your supervisor.
No problem. He's going to tell you the same thing.
No, he's not.
Tell you.
He's going to honor his oath to the Constitution.
Let's make it bad.
I don't want to deal with you because I already got you on camera.
Go ahead.
Cursing me out, so I don't want to deal with you. I don't want to deal with you. I'd rather deal with somebody that I never had contact with. Because right now it seems like retaliation.
All right, everyone, buckle up, because what you're about to see will push your patience to the breaking point. This isn't just another public confrontation. It's a powerful example of how authority can be used to challenge lawful behavior. What starts as a calm, respectful, and by-the-book First Amendment audit inside a public library in New York quickly spirals into an intense confrontation. The auditor is simply recording in a taxpayer-funded public space when library staff become uncomfortable and call the police, not because a crime has been committed, but because a camera is present. Within moments, officers arrive, and instead of addressing facts or the law, they allow discomfort to become the driving force behind their actions. What unfolds next is a tense and eye-opening encounter where policies are invoked in ways that raise serious questions about constitutional rights, accountability, and the proper limits of government authority.
You didn't investigate at all. You didn't do no investigation. You just went off of his word, right? Why are you asking me to leave a public place I have a right to be?
They want you to leave, so you gotta leave.
Okay, what if they wanted me to smack myself? I gotta smack myself?
No, that's different.
Right. I have a right to be here just like everybody else. I'm not being disorderly. I'm walking around peacefully recording. The public workers. Can I record you? Can I record you? So why can't I record the city workers?
They're not city workers.
They work. New York is funded.
They're security guards.
The public library is funded by tax dollars.
You record me all you want.
I can record government workers in the course of their duty. Read case law. You need to read case law because you enforce the law.
My job right now is to exit you out of this building.
Why? What crime did I commit?
They don't want you in here.
Why would they ask me to leave?
You're being disorderly. You're being a nuisance, and now you have other people watching.
How am I being a nuisance? How?
You were
by simply recording.
They asked you to stop recording.
They never asked me to leave. They never asked me to leave.
Because I can ask him and he can say the opposite.
I have on camera. Have you guys ever asked me to leave since I've been here? Have you asked me to leave? Have you asked me to leave since I've been here? Nope. First thing they said when I came in the building was you can record.
Listen, you can hang out here, wait.
I'm going to wait for your supervisor.
My lieutenant's going to be here.
Why not honor your oath? Why not protect my rights?
I'm honoring my oath.
I'm in a public building.
These nice men called me here, and they called us to escort you out of this building, and that's as far as I'm concerned with
Why would you escort me out the building?
We don't need to continue any more conversation.
You escort me out if I'm being disorderly, if I'm somewhere I'm not supposed to be, if I'm impeding business.
They said you were not allowed to record.
Can I finish my sentence?
Can
I finish my sentence?
I work at...
The officer's tone leaves little room for discussion. There's no attempt at dialogue, no effort to understand the situation, only repeated demands for compliance. Remaining calm and respectful, the auditor points to the library's own posted policy and even reads aloud, showing that handheld cameras are permitted inside the building. Yet the officer dismisses the policy entirely and insists he leave immediately. The contradiction is hard to ignore. Rules are being enforced without first being understood. The auditor isn't shouting, disrupting anyone, or interfering with library operations. He's simply recording in a public space. Still, that lawful activity becomes a basis for escalating the encounter. When he politely asks to speak with supervisor, the situation is reframed as disorderly conduct. What follows raises serious questions about accountability, as repeated commands to leave overshadow any meaningful discussion of the actual policy or the rights at issue.
Right, you work for me. You work for me.
I also work for them.
You work for me.
So you understand that, right?
And they're not exercising their rights. I am.
Yeah. No,
peacefully.
They are peacefully asking us to escort you out.
For what crime?
You're not allowed to record in here.
He just said I was. And it says right here on their policies. Read their policies.
He actually just said you weren't allowed to record in here.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Listen, he's the head security guard as far as I'm concerned.
Read the policy.
And we were asked to escort you out.
Read their policy.
I don't need to read their policy.
So I'm not violating their policy, so why would you ask me to leave?
I abide by what the security
and I'm not
guards
breaking
say.
the law.
Listen, this is a civil matter, and
I don't want to talk to you no more because this is retaliation. You're trying to retaliate against me because I recorded you before. So
I don't remember you ever recording.
I remember you. I remember you. You work at Midtown South, right?
It's on my press bar.
Yeah, I didn't even look at that. I already know.
It's right here.
If I was somewhere I'm not supposed to be, if I was cursing people out, if I was being disorderly, every time I talk, you cut me off.
Listen, like you said,
me simply recording. Me recording is not a disorder. Is not a disturbance.
You're being a disturbance to these people.
How?
They asked you to leave. I don't know.
Because they don't like what I'm doing. What if they didn't like my shirt? What if they didn't like my religion? You're gonna escort me out of a public building? Because it's a right. It's called freedom of religion. So if I was praying here,
asked you to leave.
Ma'am,
I don't know what more you want me to say.
If I was praying in this library and they didn't like that I was my religion, they wanted me out because I was praying. You want to enforce their feelings? Or do I have freedom of religion?
Are you praying right now?
I wanted to. So I came to this library for multiple reasons. You want to ask me to leave while I'm praying because they don't like my religion?
What is going on right here? We didn't find you praying.
I'm going to pray before I leave.
The officer repeatedly labels a peaceful recording as a nuisance, turning a calm and lawful activity into something suspicious, without pointing to any actual misconduct. As the conversation continues, it highlights a deeper conflict between policy and constitutional rights. The citizen remains composed, responding with reason and respect, while the officers grow increasingly frustrated and continue relying on internal policy to justify their actions. The discussion reaches a pivotal moment when the auditor asks a thought-provoking question. If someone were peacefully practicing their religion in a public space, would personal discomfort be enough to force them to leave? The officer offers no direct response, leaving the question hanging. The exchange shifts beyond the issue of a camera, becoming a broader conversation about free expression, individual liberties, and the responsibility of public officials to balance policies with the constitutional rights they are sworn to protect. What began as a simple recording session ultimately becomes a powerful test of accountability, fairness, and the principles that define a free society.
I came here to conduct business. I came here to utilize the library for its purposes.
The only way I'm leaving here right now is if my lieutenant tells me you can stay.
Why wouldn't I be able to stay? I'm not being disorderly. All I'm doing is walking around quietly recording the New York City public workers, which I have a right to do. I can record the government while you're at work.
You'll see what my lieutenant says, okay? How about that? Deal? And then
sure, that's why I asked for him.
And if you're good to stay, then I'll leave.
The Constitution and the law says I'm okay. What you swore an oath to do.
No.
What does the Constitution have to do with? Does the Constitution have to do with your job?
Oh.
Does the Constitution have to do with your job?
This has nothing to do with the Constitution.
It does for me. It does for me.
Because they said you're being disorderly, and they're not comfortable with you recording inside here, and they said that you're not allowed to record inside here. We don't have to...
Read their policies. Read it. Read the first line. Read the first bulletin.
They just gave this to me. That last bullet point says
see.
Photographs of the staff, other researchers, or certain reading rooms may be taken.
That's what
okay, they work for the government. There's case law that I can record them.
It doesn't matter. That's what we're here to explain to you. They said that the staff members don't want you recording.
Okay, I'm still not committing a crime. I have a right to be in a public building.
And they have the right to escort you out.
Why would they do that if I'm conducting business?
But you're not anymore. They're asking you to stop.
I am, though, because I still have to file complaints.
If you want to say
I still have to file complaints.
Stop, though.
I still have to file complaints, and I still have to do a FOIA request.
And
I still want to pray before I leave.
How do you file a complaint?
On the first floor.
First.
The circulation desk, they'll hand them a piece of paper and
do you want to go to the first floor?
I was going there before you guys came.
Well, listen, I have no problem you filing a complaint.
If I was committing a crime, then you have a right.
The lieutenant arrives. There's a brief sense of hope that the situation will be reviewed more carefully and resolved through reason. Instead, the disagreement only intensifies. Even after the auditor presents the library's written policy showing that filming is permitted, the officers continue insisting that his lawful presence is disorderly. Throughout the encounter, the auditor remains calm, respectful, and composed, repeatedly emphasizing that public officials take an oath to uphold the Constitution and protect the rights of the people. As the discussion continues, his words become more resolute, stressing that constitutional protections should not be set aside simply because someone is uncomfortable. What should have been a straightforward review of the facts instead evolves into a revealing debate over accountability, the limits of authority, and the responsibility of government officials to respect the freedoms they are sworn to defend.
To escort me out.
They're just
This is a
trying to
public
enforce our
building.
policy.
Yes.
This is
You cannot put
literally
policy
we're
over
showing
law.
it to you.
You cannot put policy over law. What if the policy said no black people? You want to enforce that?
That's
You
not
can't
their
put policy over law.
That's not going to
The,
happen.
gov-
and
the
that's
government
not their
can't
policy.
make the government
Listen,
can't
you
make
wanna
policies
a-
that violate the law
you wanna
or
go
the
make a complaint
Constitution.
Right now? 'Cause we'll walk
Yeah,
down
I'm
and
going
come on.
there. You put policy over law? Since when? Fuck out of here. I've recorded libraries in every 5 boroughs, all 5 boroughs. And it's not a problem because it's not against the law. You swore to protect my rights. You're supposed to come here and enforce the law, not their policy.
This floor? One more floor? Okay.
Am I being detained?
Yeah, you're not in cuffs. No, you're not.
So I'm
You're
free.
going and going down to the
So I'm
front
free.
door. No, you
Am I
have
being
to leave.
detained?
You have to leave.
Am I
Being
detained for a
means-
crime?
Being detained means you're being stopped and you're under investigation.
Am I being detained for a
You have to
crime?
leave. I just explained to you not being detained. You do have
All right,
to
then,
leave.
so that means I'm
Are you
free,
listening
right?
to anything she's
You're not
I
listening
feel
to
like she's
anything.
explaining things
Am I
clear to you
detained
and you're
for a
like
crime?
doing the runaround.
Come on.
Am I detained for a crime?
We're gonna go downstairs and you can make a complaint.
You can
to
go
the
wherever you
driver.
want. I'm free. I'm not detained.
We are going downstairs and you can either leave or you can go make a complaint. They don't want you in here. They have a right to not have you in here. If you want to take that up civilly, go right ahead and you can make a complaint and start that process.
As the discussion continues, the officers rely more heavily on internal rules while the central question of constitutional rights remains unresolved. At one point, an officer acknowledges that the issue is not really about the Constitution, a statement that shifts the focus of the entire encounter. The auditor calmly responds that internal policies cannot override constitutional protections, urging the officers to consider where the limits of policy should end. He raises a broader question about whether any policy, if applied without regard to fundamental rights, should automatically be enforced. The exchange highlights an ongoing tension between institutional procedures and individual liberties, inviting viewers to think critically about accountability, the role of public officials, and the importance of protecting constitutional principles. What began as one person peacefully recording in a public building ultimately grows into a larger conversation about freedom, government authority, and the responsibilities that come enforcing the law.
However, their policy says right here, no.
I don't care about their policy, bro. I don't care about their policy, bro.
May be taken.
I'm not breaking the law.
That's exactly what you're doing in here.
I'm not
And
breaking
they
the
have a
law.
right to escort you out because you
No, they
are
don't.
exactly violating-
No, they don't.
You're violating the
No, they
staff
don't.
members.
I have a constitutional right to record in public. It's called the First Amendment. It's called the First Amendment. You know what the Constitution is? The highest law of the land. You can't put a fucking library's policy over the Constitution. Are you crazy? You swore over to the Constitution. You didn't swear over to the library's policy. And if they deny me public services, I'm gonna sue them. If you violate my rights, I'm gonna sue you. You ain't swear over to the library's policy. You forgot what your oath is to? The Constitution. Smug ass. Took an oath for what? Where's your lieutenant at so I can speak to him?
He's on his way. He's on another job.
He probably has more pressing matters than somebody exercising their rights in a public building. Listen, what? Are you gonna honor your oath?
It is what it is. I'm
So what
honoring
is
my
it?
oath. They
No,
asked
it's
me
not.
to escort you out.
Let me
Right
ask you a
here,
question.
You violated their policy.
Let me
Yes
ask you
or
a
no?
question. Can you put that
Yes
policy
or
over the
no?
law?
Did you not violate their policy that's right here? circled
What's
in
higher,
front for
that
you?
policy or their law?
This is their right. This is their building. This is their
This is our
establishment.
building. It's a people's
It's
building.
their establishment,
It's a
and they
people's
have a
building.
right to escort
It's
you
a
out.
public
Now,
building.
I'm here to do this civilly.
I pay
and I don't wanna
taxes to
force
be
you
in this
out of here,
building.
okay? My lieutenant's pulling up. Who is that? Him right there?
As the encounter continues, tension steadily rises as officers make increasingly broad claims about what they believe is prohibited. The auditor calmly asks a simple but important question: which specific law has been broken? Rather than escalating the situation, he repeatedly requests a clear legal basis for their actions, while remaining composed despite being surrounded by multiple officers. His focus stays on the distinction between internal policies and constitutional protections, challenging each assertion with reason instead of emotion. The discussion becomes a striking example of how disagreements over the law should be supported by clear legal authority rather than assumptions or misunderstandings. Throughout the exchange, the auditor maintains that government policies cannot override constitutional rights, while the officers continue to defend their position. What unfolds is more than a disagreement over filming. It becomes a revealing test of accountability, legal knowledge, and the responsibility of public officials to justify their actions within the limits of the law.
No,
Well, he
that's
could
not
come
him.
find me.
That's not him. That's traffic with the lights on.
You put policy over law?
I'm putting them right now.
Of course you do.
This is my job.
Of course you do.
This is
Of
what I'm
course
here for.
your job is to
Do you
enforce the
wanna
law.
Do you want to make a
We're
complaint?
doing our
Your
job.
job is to enforce the
doing
law.
our
Is there a law
complaint.
being broken right
Do you
now?
want to come?
What law am I breaking?
Do you want to make a complaint?
Yeah,
Walk away
don't.
from my
Yeah, avoid that
lieutenant?
question.
Come on.
Avoid that question. What law am I
I've
breaking?
already answered you multiple times.
What
You're
law am
being
I breaking?
disorderly. You're not
How?
under arrest.
How
You
am
are
I,
not
how am I
under
being
arrest.
disorderly, ma'am?
Because you're
I'm
violating
recording?
their policy.
Photography
right here,
isn't a
right
crime
here.
in
Look,
public.
No photographs of the staff, other
Photography
researchers,
isn't
or
a
certain
crime
reading
in
rooms
public,
may be taken.
and you can't
went
turn
around
photography
every
into-
Why'd
single
you show us that piece
You
of
can't
paper?
turn
Now that
photography
now that
into
we
a
pointed
crime.
that out, now it doesn't
You
matter.
can't
Now
to
the
show
piece
you
of paper
how
means nothing.
because I record in libraries all over the city.
You're contradicting
Because I have the right
yourself.
to.
You're contradicting yourself.
No, I'm not. I'm following the law.
Yes, you are.
The law that you swore to protect. You enforce the law. You
That's
enforce
what we're
policies.
doing.
So
That's
what
we're
law
doing.
am I
We're doing our
breaking?
job.
What law
You're
am I
being
breaking?
disorderly.
How? By
Oh, the
recording?
lieutenant is right here.
Okay. Is he going to help me file my complaint?
He keeps saying he's violating his rights, that we're violating his rights because he's clearly breaking their policy that says no photographs of the staff, other researchers, or certain reading rooms may be taken. And he's saying we're violating his constitutional right that he's allowed to record in here and their policy doesn't matter. And he requested you because
you
we're
doing?
violating his rights.
All right.
Well, this is what I said. I said you can't put their library policy over the law. I'm not breaking the law, which means I have a right to be here. It's a public building.
Okay.
My taxes fund this building. Do I not have a right to be here?
Okay.
After a lengthy exchange, the officers deliver a final ultimatum: leave the premises or face possible legal consequences. Despite the ongoing disagreement, the auditor remains calm and professional, carefully documenting the encounter by recording the officers' names and badge numbers. Throughout the interaction, his camera continues to capture the conversations, decisions, and responses that unfolded in real time. What began as a routine visit to a public building ends as a broader discussion about the balance between government authority and individual rights, raising important questions about accountability, transparency, and the application of constitutional principles in public spaces. As the auditor leaves, it is clear that, from his perspective, the encounter extends beyond one individual. It reflects a wider debate over the role of citizens in observing public officials and the importance of ensuring that government power is exercised fairly, lawfully, and with respect for the rights of the public.
The library doesn't want you at this location anymore.
Why? Because I'm exercising my rights in public?
You have to
I still have I'm conducting business in this building, and once I finish my business, I was going to leave.
I know, they don't want you here anymore.
I have to file a complaint. I have the right to redress my government.
I know, but you have to do that. If you could probably file a complaint outside, but you have to leave. They don't want you here.
Am I breaking the law?
Well,
Nobody asked me to leave. You guys are the first person that came up to me.
you have to leave.
So if I don't leave, I'm going to get arrested?
Well, yeah.
I need to hear you say that. If I don't leave this building, what's going to happen?
They're going to prosecute you.
You're going to arrest me?
No, the New York City Public Library is going to prosecute you.
Okay, so I have a reasonable amount of time to leave, don't I?
We're actually now. Can you please leave?
Okay, I can't leave through that way. I got to leave through this way.
Which way? That way?
And I still need the information that I came here to get.
I'll give you
Are you going to help me with that?
Yep. Whatever you need outside.
All right. I need all your cards
Yeah, cool.
and all of your names. So you're saying that you could just trespass people from public for no crime?
They don't
No
want you at
crime.
this location.
No crime. It doesn't matter what they want. I'm
They
not
don't
breaking
want-
the law.
You have to leave, sir.
You going to help me get my
I'll help you
information?
outside, absolutely.
So you're just going to violate my rights over a policy, right? That's fine.
This encounter serves as a reminder of why public documentation and transparency matter. Video recordings can provide an objective record of events, helping ensure that interactions are viewed in their full context rather than relying solely on conflicting accounts. While these situations can be uncomfortable and emotionally charged, they often spark important conversations about accountability, public trust, and the proper exercise of government authority. Equally important is understanding both your rights and your responsibilities under the law, remaining calm during public interactions, and asking respectful questions when something seems unclear. An informed public is better equipped to encourage fairness, transparency, and respect for constitutional principles. When citizens stay knowledgeable, document events lawfully, and engage peacefully, they help strengthen accountability and reinforce the values that support a free and open society.